What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome to True Raider Podcast. And I wanted to talk about this Chargers Raiders game just to kind of recap and looking at who is to actually blame in this game, right? Because a lot of people are saying Geno's not the guy, like he's not the solution. A lot of people are saying Ashton Jeanty is a bust. People are also talking about the offensive line, the play calling. There's a whole lot of speculation going on. And right now, I want to give you a breakdown of what I think really happened in this Chargers game. Now, while we were watching the game during the watch party, what I was really talking about was that it really seemed like the Chargers defense was just really playing an absolute lights out game, right? And the more that I think about it, the more I look at it, the more I've watched some tape, seen other content creators and seeing what they're talking about, the more I feel like the Chargers, yes, their secondary played very well. They also got a lot of good pressure from their defensive line while rushing four, especially when they'd send five. But the Chargers really did not play that great of a game, right? We held them to 3 points in the second half, which is huge. When you hold a team to 20 points and they only get 3 points in the second half, you should win that game, right? But we didn't. We didn't go win that game. And a big part of that was that our offense was just playing horrible. Our defense, while I was watching the game, I was thinking that, damn, man, we're kind of really screwing up on defense. But, going back over it, our defense actually played very, very well, with the exception of those 2 touchdowns that Isaiah Pola-Mao gave up. It's like our defense actually really, really did a good job. They gave us a chance to remain in that game, and our offense just could not capitalize on all the opportunities that the offense had. So, Geno Smith, did he play a great game? No, he did not, right? Was he fully to blame? No, I don't think so. I am not ready to just give up on Geno Smith because he had this bad game, right? He threw 3 interceptions. That is correct. But if you look at what was happening, let's start with the offensive line, right? The offensive line, the interior offensive line was just absolutely getting destroyed, right? Kolton Miller and DJ Glaze, they held their own on the tackle positions. They actually did a really, really good job at tackle in this game. But our interior offensive line, Jordan Meredith played an awful game at center. If you take a look at the tape, his snaps were very, very inconsistent. Geno Smith, there were snaps that were hitting the ground. There were snaps that were hitting him in the butt. There were snaps that, Geno Smith was having to bend to get, or they were going high or to the outside. Geno Smith is having to concentrate on just figuring out where the ball is going to be snapped, and then has to read the coverage after that, which is a horrible place to start, because, then you're in a position where he can't really take a good look at what the defense is doing right away, right? Because he's having to concentrate on catching the ball. And the pressure that was happening was really, Dylan Parham had a ton of missed assignments. And so did Alex Kappa, absolutely played horrible. But I do not like Jordan Meredith being in at the center position. I really think that we need to put Jackson Powers Johnson back at center. I think Jordan Meredith last year really played good at left guard when Jackson Powers Johnson was in at center. Dylan Parham did not have a great year last year, and he's also not having a great year this year, right? Another option would be to put rookie tackle Charles Grant in at left guard, right? He's a big dude. He's very strong, and it would give him an opportunity to get some, starting NFL snaps. And honestly, I think that there would be a couple of weeks for him to really get in the groove of it. But the way that Dylan Parham has been playing the last 2 years, I'm really not convinced that this dude is the answer for us in that interior offensive line. The next thing I want to talk about is Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly called an absolutely horrible game, and he didn't make the proper adjustments at halftime. He didn't make, the coverage that the Chargers were doing. And Chip Kelly, he tried to make corrections, right? Because the way that they were set up with their corners and their safeties, I forget what it's called, right? But they had two safeties over top, then their two corners, and basically they were being able to double team every single deep ball, right? And at one point, Chip Kelly did move, three receivers to one side, and he's trying to break it up. But really, Brock Bowers was a step too slow, right? We should not have been playing him with that knee injury. We should have just sat him out, right? The whole reason to play him was, well, we don't want to lose this game. We lost this game anyway, and he didn't get a chance to really properly rest and recuperate that knee. And so I'm really worried about that, what that's going to look like moving forward. Is this going to turn into a longer-term injury? I don't know. But also, Chip Kelly had Geno Smith throw the ball over 40 times. In Geno Smith's career, games that he has thrown the ball over 40 times, he is 2-8. 2-8, which means Chip Kelly should know this. Pete Carroll should know this. And so why are they going to be having Geno Smith throwing the ball over 40 times, knowing that when that's the case, the games, the majority of the time, are going to get lost, right? And then we had Ashton Jeanty only carried the ball 11 times. Now, he was actually running pretty good, especially given the fact that the majority of his rushing yards were after contact, and he's getting contact in the backfield, right? But he was still being able to make things happen. I remember at one point, I think it was at halftime or something, he was averaging like 4.1 a carry. And they just kind of abandoned the run. And they just started throw the ball. I get it. We're playing from behind. But if you're not being able to run the ball, because what the Chargers were doing was they knew Brock Bowers was slow a step. And they knew that we had not gotten Ashton Jeanty going in week 1. And so they said, you know what? We're going to dare you. Throw the ball underneath. We're going to dare you. Run the ball. And we couldn't get any of that done. And see, what the reason that Geno Smith looked so good against the Patriots is because they were worried about Brock Bowers. They were worried about Ashton Jeanty. And that's the way their defense was playing. And so then Geno was able to throw the deep ball. And that's why he had 9 passes that were over 20 yards. In this game, Geno Smith was 0 for 11 on passes that went over 10 yards in the air. 0 for 11 and 3 interceptions. That's ridiculous stat. That's an absolutely ridiculous stat. So I think that this next week going against the Commanders, I think that the game is going to look a whole lot different. Really, I had us in my predictions early on, I had us going 2-3 in these first 3 games, right? And so for us to take an L against the Chargers, it's not like this huge, like, oh my God, I can't believe we lost that game. I can't believe we lost against the Bears backup quarterback Tyler Bagent, right? It's not one of those type of games, right? The type of game that we had was a Chargers team that was very fired up. They had just come off a win against the Chiefs. They are really battling to get the top of this division, right? And so they showed up better than we did. I'm not gonna just throw in the towel. I'm not giving up the season. Oh, we might as well just tank and all is lost. And people are saying we need to bench Geno Smith for Kenny Pickett. Like, what is wrong with you? Kenny Pickett? Have you ever watched Kenny Pickett play? The dude is horrible. Look, Geno Smith right now is definitely our best option. He's the best quarterback we've had in a very long time, and I haven't given up on him yet. Is he the perfect quarterback? No, of course he's not, right? Is he going to play the way he played against the Chargers every week? No. Is he going to play the way he played against the Patriots every week? No, right? We're going to have a little bit of inconsistencies. We're going to have to really find the groove, and Chip Kelly needs to do a better job of planning for this Commanders game. I'll give another video talking about the holes that I see in the Commanders' defense and the way that the Raiders can pick it apart. Keep an eye out for that video. Like always, I love you, nation. I'll catch you on the next one.